I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series. Over the next few videos I'm going to be taking a closer look at intervals. If you're working towards an ABRSM grade or if you want to find some further examples to work on, I cover this topic in various videos for the ABRSM grades 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in increasing difficulty. You can find the links to those videos in the cards and also in the description below. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDFs and you can download those in US letter or A4, and they have all the information that you need for all the various topics for the ABRSM exams. You can also find links to the books that I have available of written exam technique guidebooks, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. They're full of tips and hints on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're working through your exam papers. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel. There's lots more in store. And now we're going to take a look at the interval of a sixth. So first of all, we can see that we're counting 6 steps up. If we start with note 1, always count the lowest note as number 1, and we're always counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we just write out the notes that we've stepped through, we've gone from C, D, E, F, G, A. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is the major interval, that's a major sixth. That's part of C major scale, because C major has no flats or sharps and A is part of that major scale, that's a major sixth. However, that's not always a clue. Every major scale isn't full up of major intervals and so on. So we'll look at that further. So major literally just means greater. And if we have a look at that on the piano keyboard, we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps up. Piano keyboard's a super visual aid. Even if you don't play piano, it's worth just referring to a sketch of this just to visualize what you're doing with these intervals. So if major means greater, minor is lesser. And so let's just have a look. There's our major interval. And now we can make that smaller by a semitone by lowering this top note. And so instead of C to A, which is major or greater, we can drop it down a semitone. That's A flat, and that would be a minor sixth if we add the A flat. Now, it is true that in this case, C minor has A flat, so that's another reference point just to double check your thinking. But you also need to bear in mind that it's a semitone lower, smaller than the major. And so we can also make this a minor interval. Let's just give ourselves the basic starting point here. Give ourselves a few examples. And so we can make this minor, we can make this a semitone smaller by changing the bottom note. So from C to A is major, and if we raise that bottom note, we've made the interval smaller by a semitone, and so that C sharp to A is minor. Oh, what am I writing there? I know that's a C sharp. I should be writing minor sixth. So that's a minor sixth as well. And it's true that in the minor scale you go from C sharp to A. However, we need to also be aware that it's because it's a semitone smaller than this major interval here. And now we can actually stretch it further than this major interval, because if we think C to A is major, and so if we raise that A by a semitone to A sharp, we've actually made that interval bigger, we've augmented that major interval. So C to A sharp is an augmented sixth. And we can also augment that interval by changing the lower note as well. I'm going to run out of keys here. There's a B. So here's C to A, and if we lower that bottom note by a semitone, that takes us to C flat. Don't be mistaken in thinking that's taking us to a B, although it looks enharmonically a B. We're still counting from this C note here, just the 6 steps up the scale. So you must think of that as a C flat. So C flat to A is also an augmented 6. We've augmented that major interval by lowering this bottom note by a semitone. Now let's go back to this minor interval here and let's have another look at this. So C to A flat is minor, but we can actually make that interval smaller again. We can diminish that interval further by raising the bottom note up a semitone, so we have a C sharp at the bottom. So C sharp to A flat has diminished that minor interval by raising that lower note, and that becomes a diminished 6. So we started off with C to A, we made it minor by adding the flat, and then we diminished it further by raising that bottom note up, and that made the interval smaller again by a semitone, and so that's a diminished 6th. So let's have a look at this in context. So I'm just going to write out the scale of G minor. I'm going to give myself a couple of octaves though, because we've got quite a big interval now. We're going a 6th, and I want to just straddle over the middle of this. D and so on, that'll do. We'll do an octave and a half, that'll do. So G minor. So we know that G minor has B flats and E flats. There's the next B flat. We didn't quite make the E flat here. And it also will make it harmonic minor, so we'll raise the 7th. So this is G harmonic minor. Now then, let's have a look here. So we've got note C to A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C to A, we know, is a major 6th. We'll work that out to begin with. So although it's part of a minor scale, we still have to count this lowest note as our starting point. The fact that we're in G minor is irrelevant. We're just counting from here to here, just as we did in this first example. So you can find major intervals within a minor scale. Let's write out the scale of A major now. So I think an octave will do. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And A major has a key signature of F sharps, C sharps and G sharps. And if we look at the interval of a 6 from C sharp to A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The fact that the C is sharpened shows us that we've now reduced that interval and we're on a minor 6th. So although we're in the scale of A major, this is the interval of a minor 6th within that. So you need to always take each individual interval, counting from the lowest note. You take it from this lowest point, and the fact that it's in a major or minor context is irrelevant. You have to just count each individual interval. So I hope that that's helped you. Hopefully that's helped to clarify the topic of intervals of a 6th. If you want to find more practice in this subject, you'll find the links to the videos in the description below, where you'll get another crack at that. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resources and information there available to help you. Please give me a like, that would be really super, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.